Hey everybody, it's Eduardo Jackson, creator, CEO, founder of the Cinema Draft Game. Talking to you from the road. We are in Los Angeles, California, out here on some business. It is the dead of night. It is 12:41 a.m. on March 31st. Thought I'd squeeze this in because I will most likely be too busy tomorrow in order to do a proper micropod. So, very excited to see all the entries in. Let's take a look at some of these call sheets and jump right into, well, I guess the action. So, feature presentations, which is what we'll focus mostly on. Sorry, voice is kind of wrecked, shouting over loud bar music to my friends. Big shouts to Nick and Momo and Valencia. Great seeing you all out here in Culver City. So let's take a look at last week's returning champion first. Michael Vellante called a brother out. Called a brother out on social media. So we have to go see what this is about. So he has a Beauty and the Beast headliner stack, Ghost in the Shell headliner stack. He has a 4-pack, no headliners, of T2 Trainspotting. Squeeze in Slamma Jamma for the obligatory limited release, and Heather Kafka from Song to Song. Looks like a pure punt play at 5,000. This is interesting. This is not a bad call sheet. It's going to do pretty well because of the Beauty and the Beast headliner stack. If we take a look at our friends over at our boy Ring Balls 22, very active in the group chat. If you haven't experienced the group chat yet, feel free to go to our Facebook page, which would be facebook.com/cinemadraft, I believe, and go to the notes section. We have I believe we have a sticky there with the link to our group chat. For whatever reason, GroupMe doesn't do like specialized URLs or anything. So you just have to. That's probably the best way I can tell you to find it. Titled Marcus Graham's Secret to His Salmon, of course, an ode or an homage to Boomerang, my favorite movie. Anyways, Ringballs22 pointed out that the tracking for Ghost in the Shell has been declining. I would have estimated it would have been around 45 million per se, but it looks like it is uh, dipped down to an estimated 28 million. And I do believe a large part of that has to do with the whole cultural appropriation controversy, whatever. I have not confirmed this or substantiated this, but I did hear from my friend Nick out here in LA that she heard that this the character that Scarlett Johansson is portraying is actually a new character, not the actual character in the Ghost in the Shell anime series, whatever. And so it's not so much like they took a character and whitewashed her per se, but just the fact that the lead in this movie is I believe a Japanese lead or whatever, and is swapped out for ScarJo. As talented as she is, has got some people upset, and it seems like it's depressing the tracking. And also, haven't seen reviews. Let's check what Rotten Tomatoes has to say. And I'm only spending so much time on this only because I am genuinely curious. I'm going to see this movie regardless. It looks dope as hell. It looks like it could be like Matrix Light, Matrixy Light, and yeah, the critics aren't on board. 49%. Oh, Boss Baby. Oh, that's sad. 43%. I'm still going to see both those regardless. I am critic proof, especially having been one. And especially after movies like Collateral Beauty, which just got panned for no good reason. That was a good movie. I believe it. So, anyways, was it uh, don't believe your lying eyes, whatever. Or anyway, just go out and judge for yourself when it comes to seeing some of these movies. But I am uniquely curious to see how Ghost in the Shell is going to play because it seems to be a critical part of Michael Volante's strategy. And once again, congratulations on winning the feature presentation last week, Michael Volante. And thank you for being a stalwart podcast supporter. We see the tweets, we retweet them, we appreciate it. Keep spreading the word. Let's get some more blood up in here so we can raise these prize pools. All right, who else do we want to take a look at? Well, of course, friend of the pod, fam of the pod, Jay Devlin was on the hour long earlier this week. And actually, he said that when it came around time for Theater Lock, it totally changed his strategy. So let's take a look at what his strategy was. So looks like he has the headliner stack from Boss Baby. He has Dan Stevens, the cheaper of the two headliners from Beauty and the Beast. He is all in on Train Spotting again. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got a 5-pack of Train Spotting, T2 Train Spotting. He has Michael Pitt, the cheaper of the two headliners from Ghost in the Shell. And then for his limited release actor, he has Will Arnett from the Lego Batman movie. And this seems to be, he's going to get mad at me for saying this, but aside from being all in on Train Spotting, and it did increase its number of screens this week to 140. There you go. I'm curious to see how this does with Train Spotting. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the safest pick per se, but considering he was going a bit Stars and Scrubsy, because you get a Beauty and the Beast and two Boss Babies, and between those three actors, you used up almost 60,000 in your budget. But when it comes to the Scrubs part, it seemed like he's betting heavily on Train Spotting, T2 Train Spotting at platform release. We saw what it did last weekend, didn't we? Last weekend on, was it 59 screens? Okay, there we go, 59 screens. Oh, actually, it performed pretty decent, almost 400,000, which would give you, almost 4 points in this game, maybe 6 points for a headliner. But we're looking at this all too crucial per screen average, 6,600. That's pretty high. You're going to see on per screen average, it was 4th on the weekend. So he's probably betting that with this uptick in theater count, that it'll keep a similar or a slight dip in the per screen average. So even if it goes up to about, so let's say it's about 5,000 per screen at almost 150, kind of bad at math. Basically, you're looking at, is that 2.5 million? Nah, that can't be right. Either way, it's pretty high. And so he's banking on the expansion of T2 Train Spotting to get him there. I mean, hell, if it does even 1 million, you're ahead of the game right there. At 10 points each, with 1 point per 100,000 in platform release. So, all right, we'll see how that does. It's putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Train Spotting, but otherwise, I'd say it feels kind of safe, almost like a cash lineup, if Train Spotting does perform as we expect. I only say that because he covers his bases. He gets a headliner from Boss Baby, Beauty and the Beast, and Ghost in the Shell, the three wide releases this weekend, who are going to suck up the lion's share of the box office. So this looks like, I'm not sure. I had a golf analogy in my head, but I don't play golf. But basically, it's like taking the safer, instead of taking out the driver, you're taking out like one of the woods. Is that right? Anyways, you're playing it safe right down the middle, Jay Devlin. And to be honest, it might be good enough to win you the feature presentation this weekend. Okay, I guess we put off long enough. We'll take a look at my call sheet. And this actually isn't even my best call sheet, I would say. And I know I've made that excuse in weeks past, because I tend to experiment a little bit along the way, find what I kind of like best, and kind of stick in the best spot, in the best boy. And we'll be taking a look at that call sheet this week. This one I think might have the chops to win. I'm not nearly as confident this week as I have been in previous weeks, because it is so wide open. And as I threw down the gauntlet in the group chat, our lovely Marcus Graham's secret to his salmon group text chat, that if y'all can't win the bounty this week, And then I don't know what to tell you. Like, seriously, it is wide open this week. There's so many combinations that can lead to the winning call sheet. I honestly have no idea which way it's going to go. So this is my best. This is one of my best stabs at. This is, I would say, my second best stab at it in the feature presentation. I have a headliner stack of the Boss Baby. I have a 4-pack of the Zookeeper's Wife, including the 2 headliners. I have Daniel Kaluuya as a headliner from Get Out, Lil Rel Howery from Get Out as a regular actor, Carl Argu from Trainspotting, non-headliner, and then Octavia Spencer as a headliner from Hidden Figures. Now, Hidden Figures got bumped down to platform release because it is on only 352 screens, and that actually was more of like a cost thing. This isn't so much a Stars and Scrubsy call sheet. This is more of a, it's almost kind of balanced as far as the salaries go. You get a lot of 9,000s, 10,000s. You get 16,300 and 17,000 for the 2 headliners and the Boss Baby. But for the most part, it's a fairly balanced call sheet. But my strategy is that I'm fairly convinced the Zookeeper's Wife is going to do bonkers for its release type. It's on 474 screens. It's just scratching at the upper echelon, upper limits of platform release. It's got Jessica Chastain, who's she's a movie star now. She's and even better yet, a very credible actor. I thought she was jobbed when she wasn't nominated for an Oscar for Miss Sloane. It was one of the best performances I've seen at the theater last year. And also, the Holocaust, a very moving, it seems like it's going to be a moving or poignant, that was the word I was looking for, a poignant tale in the Holocaust that that offers something for everybody. It's got Zookeeper's Wife. It's got a zoo. It's got animals. It's got children. It's got I guess it's got a definitive bad guy, the Nazis, and it's got a movie star with luscious red hair, Jessica Chastain. So I think it's going to do quite well. I believe Box Office Pro. Actually, Box Office Pro didn't say anything, but there is I remember seeing estimates somewhere that it might do about 2 million. Oh, that's right. So my other go-to when I'm trying to get a handle on what, as our WBW Chocolate Cardinal Kevin Garnett would say, what the zeitgeist is, trying to ride and feel the zeitgeist. I go to hsx.com. And I'll just type it in, Zookeeper. I think we did this on the hour-long pod during the shot list portion. But basically, I believe the zeitgeist is feeling, it's dropped some. So basically, they're estimating about a 1.92 million opening, which on 474 screens is just phenomenal. And as you know, 1 point per 100,000 at the platform release level. So I'm banking that this sucker is going to give me almost 20 points from each of these 2, and then also, I guess, 28 points per headliner. So, and those kind of points are hard to make up. I mean, so basically we're looking at essentially 100 points between these 4 actors. Throw in some Boss Baby. If Boss Baby does come in at let's just say 30 million, so then you're looking at was that 44-ish? So bad at math. But let's just say total 80 more. So then you've got 80 between those 2. You've got another another 100 between the 4 Zookeeper's Wives. Now we're at 180, and then also Get Out is also slipped into limited release. It's at 1,840 screens. It's going to be probably the best performer at limited release. So you got that twice, and then essentially punting with Trainspotting T2. But if it does as well as Jay Devlin's sheet thinks it will, we'll be in pretty good shape. So that was the thinking behind that call sheet. But like I said, I don't even think it's my best strategy of call sheet. I'll bring that up in a little bit. I guess it wouldn't be a podcast we didn't take a look at Kelly's call sheet. We love Kelly. Kelly is such a strong player in this game. Always very innovative, very much looking forward to seeing what she had to bring this week. And talking about riding the zeitgeist, she tends to be really up on it. So she had, I see what you're doing here, Kelly. So she has a Beauty and the Beast headliner stack. She has a Get Out headliner stack. She has Michael Pitt from Ghost in the Shell, and then it looks like she went with a headliner from the Belko Experiment, which is at Platform. Not so sure about that, only because it seems like whatever money there was to be gotten for that movie was made last weekend, but I could be wrong. See real quick what that gross was. Belko 1.87 million, yeah, about 1,400 per screen. Assume it'll drop some more. Let's just say it goes down to 1,000 per screen, and it's now on, was it 417 screens? 400 and let's open this up into a new tab. So it looks like Belko, that's a pretty sharp decline, but after drawing only 1,400 per screen, you can't really blame them. 472. Oh, that's intriguing at the platform release level. If you assume another 50% drop, see, so 472 screens, say it's 1,000 per screen. Okay. 472,000, 4.7-ish points, 5 points. It's not bad. It's not terrible. But I think we all know that you have to be in the Zookeeper's Wife business. You absolutely have to. And I think not having that somewhere along the line may cost her unless she really does get the return she's looking for from Ghost in the Shell. The only problem with Get Out, and I thought about this because I got really excited and I got really Get Out happy when I saw that it dipped just under 2,000 screens into limited release. Now, yes, you do have Get Out pulling at 8.9 million essentially on 2,400 screens last weekend. So it's still a very robust 3,578 per screen. Now let's just say it drops to 3,000 screens to get round numbers, and at 1,800. So basically, you're looking. Oh, why am I so bad at math? Basically, you're looking at. I think you're looking at somewhere in the 5 million range per se, which is strong. So that basically, and then so if you're looking at 1 point per 500,000, then essentially you're getting 10 to 12 points. If you're doing headliners, then yeah, you're probably going to get about 18 points, I think. Sounds about right. 18, 19 points each. So it's not a bad play. It's not. It's definitely probably going to be the best performer in limited release, for sure. But with this money you spent, well, no, the money is fine. That's actually that's really solid value. I like that. I like that play. That's really solid value. I'm just thinking. I think we're gonna see a call sheet win this week that has either only one Beauty and the Beast or none Beauty and the Beast, because that salary is just so high, it's prohibiting some other plays you might want to make, like with the Zookeeper's Wife. Because for example, so basically it takes two Zookeepers to match one Beauty and the Beast, maybe, but in that same standpoint, even though you've taken up two spots, you've taken two for the price for the points of what would be one. You're not punting any of these categories. Sorry, any of these slots. Each slot is going to be very crucial this week because, I mean, while there may not be like a cohesive general strategy, like there was that one week where we had, I think, a three-way tied for second because there seemed to be a quote-unquote obvious strategy, which Ring Balls, I believe, totally surpassed and leaped over for the first place victory in the feature presentation. I mean, each slot's going to be so valuable this week only because it can go in so many different directions as far as the scoring that if you're paying up for an actor in one of these movies, you might be, as the saying goes, blocking your blessings from getting value somewhere else. So we'll see. We'll see. But each slot is going to be very crucial this week. Definitely curious to see how this turns out. And since we do tend to coalesce around some of our more vocal favorite players, or people who've been on the podcast, or just people who tend to perform strongly, at the top. Let's spread the level a little bit, and let's take on a newcomer this week and just kind of take a look at their call sheet and see what they can do different. So Nimi is a dear personal friend of mine, known her for gosh, about 20 years now or something. And so this is our first time in the game. We did it at a very crowded bar, very crowded bar, loud, noisy, and she's just getting a feel of the game. So we'll take some of her picks with a grain of salt, but. So this is her first week in the game, so we definitely want her to come back. And so she has a call sheet with a little sparse on headliners. I'd like to see a few more headliners. She left 18,000 on the table. So as we mentioned before on a very, very early podcast, that you try to want to maximize your budget if and when you can. It seems to be recently like there hasn't been too many opportunities where leaving money on the table is an optimal strategy. I personally try to keep a rule of thumb of I want to get within 5,000 of my budget. So if the budget's 100,000, I want to leave no more than 5,000 or 6,000 behind, because it's just being wasteful. Waste not, want not. She went with Elizabeth Banks, the headliner in Power Rangers. She did Elise Neal from Logan, non-headliner. Headliner, Scarlett Johansson, Ghost in the Shell. Val Kilmer, Song to Song. Daniel Kaluuya, headliner from Get Out. Mahershala Ali and Jim Parsons, both from Hidden Figures. Non-headliners, Rosario Dawson. Actually, I just want to click on this picture, see what picture they have for Rosario. Be still my beating heart. Love you, Rosario. Yeah, and she packs in the points too. Also can be seen now, for those who bothered to see, in Iron Fist, which I am struggling through. I think I'm in episode 9. It's this hashtag the struggle is real. Woody Harrelson, headliner from Wilson, and then Ding Guanson from The Devotion of Suspect X. Now, as this is her first week in the game, Nimi doesn't know some of our guidelines. Some of the guidelines we like to run by. Although the 3F, the foreign focused film, tends to be a crowd favorite, still The Devotion of Suspect X is only on 45 screens. Haven't heard much about it, and in a platform release category, I mean, you got heavy hitters like, with the money left over, she could have easily slid in 2 headliners from The Zookeeper's Wife and kept it moving. So you want to try to get more headliners in, because you do get that 40% bonus on points. Wilson was okay. I think it expanded. I think expanded by 1. So it was 310 screens last week, 311 this week. So you have some headliners, which is good. You want to get more headliners in if you can. You want to spend up that money, and then also I mean, Power Rangers isn't too bad. I don't think it's going to do what you want it to do, especially at that salary. But basically, the name of the game here, Nimi, is value. Points per dollar spent. You need to make sure that the salary you spend will get you, the points you want. So you're always trying to find out where you can get, something. I wouldn't say something for nothing, but you want to get more money, more bang for your buck. All right. So be cognizant of that as you come back next week, because I know you will love playing this game, getting the updates with us, and all that good stuff. Okay. And yes, and I guess, and big shouts also to my people, James Lear, Gamble 24x7, Ring Balls. You know what? We'll check out Ring Balls call sheet real quick, because I know we'll be hearing about it in the group chat. Okay, now we're talking. Here we go. So Dan Stevens, Beauty and the Beast, headliner. Steve Buscemi, headliner from Boss Baby. This is a very headliner-heavy call sheet. I like it. He's actually got 8 of the 10 actors as headliners. He's got a 4-pack of The Zookeeper's Wife, including the headliner stack of Daniel Bruhl, German, I don't know. Daniel Bruhl, Jessica Chastain. Also, he's got a headliner stack from Trainspotting. Good. Octavia Spencer from The Shack. Looks like it wasn't really a punt, but it's an interesting call there, only because it kind of slipped my radar, to be honest with you. The Shack. So The Shack did basically 3.9 million last weekend. This weekend, it's slipped into 1,430 screens. Okay. All right. So I see what's going on here. So if it could pull off even 3 million, that'd be about 6 points, or I guess 8 points with the headliner bonus. It's not a bad play. I'm trying to think where else I would have gone for my limited release. Well, with the money I had left, that's actually probably the best use of his funds. And he totally punted the. Well, actually, well, maybe he didn't punt. I don't know. It feels punty at 5,100 for the devotion of suspect X's Zhang Lu Yi. But we'll see how that does. You never know. Sometimes I'm very wary of a 3F film, a foreign focused film, with under, say, I don't know, 50 screens. I just don't know how it's going to perform. I think it was last week, Fulari, the Indian film, aka the Indian film, last week was only on 74 screens, and that kind of struggled to, was it 180,000? Or that was 2 weekends ago, I believe. It didn't really do what you wanted to do. So just be careful with that one right there. But this is a very solid call sheet, and it mimics a lot of the strategy that I had going into this weekend. And the last call sheet we'll go over is one of my own, which is, and also a big shout out to Shanna, representing, holding down the Rainier Valley knitting circle with the Draft Mom. Draft Mom has been absent the last couple of weeks. She has been traveling to my aunt's birthday. Happy birthday, Aunt Pearl. You will never hear this, but love you and thinking of you nonetheless. Maybe your sister will relay it to you. So this is my strategy. I went ham on the Zookeeper's Wife. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a 6-pack of the Zookeeper's Wife. Yeah, so if we assume 28 points each, 56 points for these two, and then another, I guess, essentially 80 for 136 between these 6, and a Beauty and the Beast headliner. So then I'm getting another, like, essentially 65 points. So now we're up to 210, 220, bad at math once again, plus a headliner from Get Out. So now that's another 10 points, 190. T2 Train Spotting, it was more of like a salary play right there. And then also Taraji P. Henson, Hidden Figures, platform release. We might be able to squeak out another, 4 to 6 points out of that. So this is feeling like a 220 call sheet. And I don't know. I'm not calling my shot. I am not as confident with this as I was 2 weeks ago when I basically called my shot like Babe Ruth and knocked that sucker over the fence. But I think this call sheet's in the mix. This is my $50 best boy call sheet. Feel free to check it out. See how you stack up, measure up. It's wide open this week, folks. It really is. It's anyone's weekend, so make sure you represent. Make sure well, I guess there's nothing you really can do. It's out of your hands right now, but definitely, track the box office results, stay abuzz, check the cinema scores, check Rotten Tomatoes, see what people are saying, see what people are talking about. This is really fun stuff, y'all, and I appreciate it. I'm out here on business, on work for Cinema Draft. On behalf of Cinema Draft, your guys' interest definitely keeps me going, which is why I'm wrapping this up around 1 o'clock at night, and very interested to see what you guys come up with. For our newcomers, we do have tutorials and such. The Cinema Draft Quick Start Guide is here. We'll get you in the game in 2 minutes or fewer. Is that right? 2 minutes or less? 2 minutes or fewer? Got a freaking English degree, and I have no idea what that rule is. I'll have to look that up. This is a tutorial playlist, how to play Cinema Draft, the long version, how to make a call sheet, how to cash out, how to get help, how to keep score, etc., etc. Definitely enhance your sweat. Join us at the Cinema Draft. Let me see if I even have it up. Join us on the Cinema Draft. Group chat is not up there. Nope, it's not up there. Okay. So anyways, join us on the Cinema Draft group chat and all that good stuff. We'll be here for your pleasure. Check it out. Tell everyone, tell your friends, cinemadraft.co. That is cinemadraft.co to sign up for the free beta. Also subscribe wherever you get your podcast at. If you're listening via podcast, we appreciate you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And looking forward to seeing those call sheets, everybody. And of course, this weekend, go see a movie or something.